Hello, friends. This is Dr. Neelam Panchal, and I welcome you all in this Istd 82nd batch online training sessions. So, basically, due to this COVID-19, we are unable to conduct classes. And so, somewhere that is why I would like to give you some outline regarding the sessions, regarding the assignments that you need to submit, and the framework in which we are working. So basically, in this semester, you need to learn four subjects as you already aware. Number one, that is training, business strategy, and HRD. Number two, instructional design. Number three, training methods, cognitive, and training methods, experiential. So if you observe this course, it is all about building the managers, building the person to have a betterment in the training, to have an idea about what are the ways, what are the methods, what are the needs, what are the approaches, what are the ways in which you can design the best training methods and a base training strategy for the organization. So, starting with paper number one, which is talking about a training, business strategy, and HRD. So basically, this would focus upon giving you an overview of the training. That is how it is creating an opportunities. What are the challenges for the training, and what is happening in the emerging business scenario when we are talking about the training. In some organization there is a separate department of the training. In the other organization, people are going for outsourcing of the training. In that challenging environment, how would you play a role, and what would be the importance of the training in the coming up scenario? The subject will also focus upon the organization strategy and the process strategy of the development, including analysis of the environment, industry structure, organizational capacities. Because what happens is, as and when the organizational capacities or the capabilities are changing, the training needs are changing. So while you design the appropriate method of training, before that you should understand the business structure. So how it is important and what are the aspects that are included to understand the business structure well is also second very important aspect that we are going to look into. And thirdly, that is needed to be observed is how to implement and evaluate the strategy. That is, how would you strategize the training according to the structure of the business, according to the industry environment, according to the business environment. So, what is very important for a trainer is number one, here the subject is trying to see that you need to identify in which environment you are going to train. What is the type of the business? What is the nature of the business? What are the type of the methods that are adopted by the HR? How serious is about the training? And with that, you can connect the HRD and the business strategy and then the training. So the third important aspect that you may like to go for is how workforce and HR scorecards are important. And then, depending upon looking in the business strategy, followed by HRD strategy, and then you would try to connect the training strategy here. Okay, so firstly, we said we should look into the overall strategy of the business, followed by the business environment, industry structure. Thirdly, we said that you need to look into business as a whole. Okay. And then in a business, you need to look into the HRD strategy. So according to the HRD strategy that is followed, you need to look into the strategy for the training. In addition, the subject will also focus upon the organizational development strategy and the training. That is, when you want to develop the organization, what is the role of the training? How the training would be important to drive the strategic change in the organization, and how to develop a training scorecard. So basically, if you look into the overview of this subject, what it tries to focus upon is in isolation. If you develop any training or any training method, it would not give a realistic what we can say, satisfaction to the people. So, what is important for you as a trainer is number one, try to analyze the business environment, try to see the strategy that the business is developing, try to see what is important HRD strategy in that particular business. Are they doing training for a specific purpose? What can be the purpose of this training? And then, accordingly, you should try to strategize and you should try to understand the role of trainer in this driving strategic change that is happening in an organization, and accordingly you can do develop a training scorecard. And that is what the importance of this subject. So basically this subject is covered in your book Training and Development by B Janki Ram. Janki Ram, and the second book is Every Trainer's Handbook, written by Devendra, written by the Devendra Agochia. So somewhere or the other way, in addition, we'll also try to provide the slides to you, which will give you an idea about, in addition to whatever material has been included in the subject. There was some of the question that while you are writing down an assignment, should you give an example of the training or the strategy or the HRD strategy that is pertaining to this subject? My answer would be yes. Of course, when you're writing down an assignment, what is important is number one, you should try to connect the answers with the concept that you have understood. Number two, the practical aspects that you know because you might be working in some other organizations. So, what are the ways they are adopted? And number three is looking into the cases and the strategies that are adopted by different organizations. You can compare, you can give your own model, you can design your own model, you can connect with cases, you can connect with different examples, and you can give an answer. So there's no boundary that you should write in this specific way or that specific way. Again, your answer should not be too conceptual. It should be supported by the examples. It should be supported by the situations. Number three is you should be able to describe about the situation. It is not just listing down the points. You should describe it well so that the reader of the assignment is able to judge your what we can say fundamentals, the clarity in your mind about the concepts well. So that is for this subject. So the second subject we are talking in the second video.